We are in this auditorium. Thank you. Please, can we take our seats? One good thing about the national anthem is that whenever you listen to that anthem, I remember the days of the national stadium. I grew up around that facility in Surulere. If you play that song, no team ever came to that national stadium to beat us. And I remember probably on Sunday, Saturday, when our women national team played against Morocco. Morocco played all the first game in the first half, and the second. I heard the president saying he didn't want blood pressure. I don't want to watch war as well again because I'm a very passionate fan. Nigeria may be great again, and Nigeria will be great again as well. Please put our hands together for our dear country. We don't have any other country. I remember the officer here was saying, yes, we don't have any other country, and we are supposed to be very, very patriotic Nigerians. You can't see the Americans talking bad about their country. They always have a way. We know we have challenges, and I always say it. Almost all the parts of the world. If Russia could go to war with Ukraine, if Israel and which one are we going to choose? Is it conventional war or the one that we have? I've traveled around Nigeria too, going to Abuja, and thank God I didn't, experience that. But so this issue is not as if the way it is. We have challenges, no doubt about, and that is why we are here to talk about this great challenge. The national anthem, the last one anthem was taken by one of us here from Faculty of Arts, Mr. David. I know. Please, can you put hands together for that young man? And he has about 16 or 17 to his credit for Nigerian University. That's a remarkable feat. Please, can you put hands together for Mr. David? I know. In that auditorium of Bamaroa, were he there when the VC, the management asked for entries so that we are going to be democratic? That's one thing about last week. We don't have shortcuts to what we do. And everybody submitted their entries. And at the end of the day, by voting, we settled for this very last anthem. I think that's very much. Please, can you put hands together for Mr. David I know and last week? Even from that quickly, ladies and gentlemen, welcome you on board of this distinguished lecture series and orientation program. But we commence with the orientation program. But before then, I would like to invite to this fight of the auditorium. All of us, we are very, very important. But when we have events of this nature, there are people that we need to really bring to this side of the auditorium. I'd like to call on the distinguished lecturer as well, Lieutenant General Lamidi Adeosun. Please, if he's in the building, let's put our hands together for Lieutenant General Lamidi Adeosun. Sir, please, we can do better. Military officer, whether they are still serving or not, they are always busy. But for him to take out of his busy schedule, please, let's keep it coming. So be here. We appreciate your presence, sir. Thank you so much. Once a military officer is always, I would have loved to be a military officer, but I don't know whether it's late now. I think it's late. You're welcome, sir. What do you say? I can't. Please, I can't. Let me just stay with my family. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. We appreciate all our military officers who are here and those who are not here as well. Whenever I see them, I appreciate what they are doing. Because to keep our country is so massive. Niger Republic, bounded by, here in the, and those places are just too big for us to really, but then we are trying our best. Thank you, sir. Yes, I would like to bring on board the host of this program, the director of the Center for Peace and Security Studies, Lagos State University. We have Professor Falode. Please, can you put us together? Ah, now wow, Prof, Prof, Prof. Don't worry, don't worry. Don't worry now. This one now, Joro, when I brought Prof here, you are not clapping, but he didn't clap for me, Abby. Nobody's going out today. Please, thank you so much. I know Prof is a man of the people. I know him very well. Very cerebral, somebody who understands what he's doing, somebody who knows the nitty-gritty of what we are going to talk about as well. We have had a lot of collaborations, programs, and I know when he talks, you always appreciate. Please, let's put our hands together for Professor Falode again. Thank you so much. Our world-class student, Fulgade, they really appreciate the director for all he has done and what he's doing. Yes, I would like to appreciate him again. When he was part of the university management, we can recollect and still put fingers on some of those interventions he did. Like I always say, um, office always like a continuum. So when someone leaves, another person comes in. Let's appreciate former Deputy Vice Chancellor, Lagos University Professor A.O.K. Noah. Please, sorry. You're welcome, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I'm just appreciating. Thank you. We appreciate your coming, sir. Also, we have here Major General M.B. Etuk, Commandant of Nigerian Army College of Logistics and Management, Ojo, represented by Brigadier General E.E. Igoche. Please, can you put hands together for sir? We can keep it coming. Let's do it. I love that uniform. One day, when I grow up, I want to be like you, sir. So I can wear uniform. Okay. I'm not. I'm still a baby now. To my parents, I'm still a baby. Please, let's put out together for Brigadier General. When I served, I lived in an Onitsha barrack. I thought I was going to become an army, but military officer, but it didn't happen. I wanted to wear that uniform and do a lot of great things for Nigeria. Well, I'm still doing that. You're welcome, sir. Yes, we have the Vice Chancellor in the building. Like we told you, the management, they're having a very, very high level meeting. When I was coming, when I saw the union vehicle, I knew that there was a meeting going on. We have the dean of all this, the postgraduate school of Lagos University. We have Professor Ibrahim Olateju, representing the Vice Chancellor. Please, can you put that together for Professor Olateju? A couple of months ago, we had his inaugural lecture. We had a great time. Please, let's put that together for Professor Olateju. There are a lot of recommendations he gave to the government, and I hope the government, they are speaking to uh, that document that could help Nigeria to grow. We have eggheads in Nigeria, and with the quantum of people that we have, Nigeria will go higher and better. We also have with us the director of Nigerian Army 81 Division Education, Lieutenant Colonel Olupo OA. I think I'm right. You are referring OC. Choma! Us. If I don't do that now, may they no come carry me go back. I'm protected. Oga is here. So ma, please ma, come up stage here. Please can I put us together for she has come to represent the GOC. General Officer, I don't know. I'm not a military officer. Let me just put it that way. All right. I think we are doing great. We are flying, and we also have in our midst our royal father. I know sometimes we see our lost rich and temporal, our royal fathers, and these are men who are keeping custodian of our cultures. I'm a Nigerian from Oyo State, but I'm a Nigerian. I don't even like seeing where I come from. I would have been the Oba of Oyo now. I'm Kadi Geshola Daud. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But we have a real father in our midst this morning. Oba John Afolabi Babajide JV. Um, yes, Onokoye. Olokoye of Oko. Sorry, Olokoye of Okoye. Please, can I put that together for our royal father? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. You know, they didn't put in Yoruba language, they always put this army, but the army is not there. So I'm a proper Yoruba boy. Thank you for joining us. Please, can I put that together for all our guests who are already here? We won't be able to take all the names, but all of you who have come to join us, deputy registrars, principal assistant registrars, I, administrative officers of Lagos University, our world-class students, both undergraduate and postgraduate. Please, let's put our hands together for ourselves. It's nice to have all of us. Yes, let's go to the business of the day. Yeah, the first part of this whole event, the orientation program. Yes, I would like to invite the director of Center for Peace and Security Studies, PSS, Lagos State University, Professor Adewumi Falode, for his welcome speech. Please, can you put hands together? I know you will clap for the director, even if I don't even ask you. I know now. Director, I don't know what you have given to them. Oh. You're welcome.
If you join our center, you know what I've actually given to them. Once again, good morning, everybody. So let me do the protocol thing first before we go to our own usual language, the way we speak at the center. So the vice chancellor, ably represented by Professor Olateju, graduate in the Dean School of Postgraduate Studies, sir. Welcome. Our guest speaker, Lieutenant General Lamidi Adeosun, retired CFR, sir. It's a great honor to have you in our midst. The representative of the NACOL, as a General Etuk, sorry, I didn't pick the name, Mr. Igoche, Major Brigadier Igoche. Yes, thank you for joining us, sir. The representative of the Commandant, 81 Division, Igbo Tubo, welcome to our midst. The Royal Father in our midst, Oba uh, Kabiyesi, welcome to our midst again. We appreciate your presence, your presence in our midst. My colleagues from across the university, even before I go to my colleague, the former Deputy Vice Chancellor of Lagos State University, our big daddy in the house, Professor A.O.P. Noah. Thank you for joining us, sir. Yes, sir. My colleagues, my own mates from the Faculty of Arts and the faculties within the university. I've seen my good friend, the HOD of Political Science, my frequent collaborator, Dr. Moshood. I'm sure he's hiding somewhere. Exactly. I said, I'm sure he's hiding. Thank you for joining us, sir. My dearest Dr. Balogun from the Department of History and International Studies, the Lancaster scholar. Thank you for joining us too. Dr. Siddiq Utman, the gentleman from the religious department, always preaching peace that I don't like. Thank you for joining us again. Dr. Remy Brito from Eastern International Studies, sir. You are recognized, sir. Mr. Femi Akinola, Mr. Wale Ajumobi, and all others that I can't say. I'm sure they are there somewhere in our midst here. Then, well, this is actually sounding like a vote of thanks, but it's not vote of thanks because I only get the opportunity to see this one. So let me just call all of them together. Then, of course, my the CIPR team. Thank you. You are doing a wonderful job for us. The multimedia team too for throwing this thing online. I mean, this thing is on Zoom. Members of the Department of the non-administrative member of Department of History and International Studies. I call them my two girlfriends. I can see Mrs. Rufai and Mrs. Juliana. Thank you for joining us here once again. Too. Then, of course, my good people from the center. Without them, we wouldn't even actually be doing this. I have Mr. Fashola, you get to meet him soon. The PAR, very dependable. Then, of course, I have Mr. Gemo. I don't know when Baghdadi people started wearing a bow tie. So Mr. Gemo is here somewhere with his. But then, of course, I have Mr. Monday. Those are my team from that center. Then, of course, we have the gentlemen of the press in our midst from Punch, from Guardian, and the Telegraph. Then the undergraduate student that still made it to this events today. You are all appreciated. I can understand there is an election going on. That explains why we have this scanty presence of undergraduate students today here. Then, importantly, we are now back to the main people. My student from the Center for Peace and Security Studies. They are the greatest of last white. Now, today is your day. Today is our day. Actually, today is your day. This is not our first outing. This is another outing we are putting in a cap. This thing we are doing today is not new to us at this center at all. It's something we are actually used to. But then today would not actually have been possible without the active and unbelievable support from the Vice Chancellor of Lagos State University, Professor Ibiyemi Bilola Latiji MNI. Please, a round of applause for that. She has been the backbone of the center. This center is an initiative. It fits into our strategic goal of connecting the university with the town. And that is what we are now doing today. Lieutenant General Adeosun Lamidi is not part of our center. He's from the town, from the military aspect of that town. But he's now coming again to the university to connect the town and the town and the gown together. We appreciate your presence, sir, for what you are going to tell us today. Now, like we said at the beginning, this is a two-in-one program. The orientation, then the distinguished lectures series. For those who are not actually aware, of course, my students are aware of this already. We have two cohorts. We have two sessions now. Presently, we have 23, 24. Then we have 24, 25. So it is the 24, 25 set that are doing their orientation there today. And we have 5 programs at the center. We have a postgraduate diploma. Then we have a 2 master's program, academic and professional. Then we have 2 doctorate program, academic and professional. We are oversubscribed. We have more than enough students on those two. As of last count for our program, we have about 200 students. And this is a program that started in less than a year ago. I have to commend the effort and the support of our dear Dean, Professor Latuji, Professor Lateju. Please, a round of applause for him. He made it so easy. He made everything possible. The logistics, the examination, we're talking about examination material, even the support at that other high management level is always provided. Even when it comes to our outreaches, for those who are not aware, we do outreach at that center. It makes that possible. The funding, the bosses, the words of encouragement. I call him anytime. The man does not even complain at all. We appreciate you, sir, for all you've been doing. You can see the fruit of your labor. They are there. I'm sure they are happy to see you today, sir. So, of course, he will talk to you about the university, and there are some things you have to know. I'm talking about the orientation aspect of that program. Now, back to this lecture. This lecture is very, very important. This lecture is very, very interesting. I won't give you the preview. I've seen the trailer, good movies. There's a way they show you that trailer. And I was deeply impressed with what Professor Lamidi is actually going to tell us. You remember I said Professor Lamidi, based on what Professor Lamidi Adeosun, based on what I saw that he wrote on that thing that is going on in that part of Nigeria. Our center, in last week, basically, we've traveled all over the world. We've talked about what is going on in Iran and Israel, the Gaza, what America is doing, what Russia is doing to Ukraine. So we hardly ever talk about what is actually going on there in Nigeria. What we hear of is just insecurity, Lakurawa, Boko Haram, kidnapping, and the rest of them. We are not just interested in trying to talk about the usual history of those things. We are interested in trying to provide the solutions. how can Nigeria resolve the various multimodal, multidimensional challenges, security challenges that the country is actually facing. And that is why we have Professor Lamidi Adeosun in our midst for the insider's perspective. You know, most academics are theoreticians. He has been to the field. He has been in the thick of that thing. So there are nuggets. There are things that he's aware of that we are not actually aware. We can only see things from the periphery or what we call the area of people. Is the thick of that event itself. We've been hearing of killings in that Benue. The point we were just thinking to quote Igbo, it was Ojuju that was killing them. Today you hear 50 people died, 100 people died, 70 people died. I now start to wonder, is it that we don't have the Nigerian army in Nigeria or we don't have enough troops in Nigeria? What we just keep hearing is that they've sacked some local government area, they've sacked a whole community. This is why this topic today is very, very important. And I can assure you, you'll be enlightened and you'll also be informed. So, on that note, I want to welcome you once again to this important event. And I thank you for taking time out of your important schedule to be at this program. Thank you.
Bob, thank you so much. Please, can you put hands together for the director? He has set the tone for this very event. Quickly, because of time, we are right behind schedule. I would like to go to the next item on this program. I don't even know how did we get to this thing that is so bad that yeah, everything every time you, I mean, tune into your radio, it's that somebody's killed, somebody's kidnapped. How did it get to that stage? That's our guest speaker will be talking about that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, up next, I would like to invite the rep of the Vice Chancellor, um, Professor Ibilela Ibiyemi Olatibilo, MNMPOM, will be represented by the Dean Postgraduate School, Professor Olateju Ibrahim, for his for our Vice Chancellor speech. Please, Professor, if you are here, let's have you. We are last soon.
Yeah, thank you. I'm here in two capacity. First, to represent my Vice Chancellor, and at the same time, to be part of the orientation program. So follow the, do I take the two together? With your permission, okay. On that note, let me acknowledge our guest speaker, Lieutenant General Lamidi Adeosun. They say you are retired, but as I'm looking at you, you are not tired. And that is why you have decided to come and add value to us at last. Thank you very much. We appreciate this. Okay? You're not taken for granted. I don't have the protocol, the list here for personnel for security, but when I see you guys, I start attention. I recognize your work. Thank you for coming to us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, let's clap for them. They are doing a lot. We we are seated here, we are at peace because you are in Lagos. Imagine you being one of them and you got a call. They just be posted to Borno. Imagine what is going on in your mind. They are going through a lot. We respect you. Thank you for what you are doing for Nigeria. God, in infinite mercies, will reward you because we know Nigeria know they are not rewarding you well. It's only God that can pay you for what you are doing. It's not easy to put one's life for Nigeria. Is it worth it? But some people have decided to put their life on the line so that all of us can have peace. Let's clap for them, please. Thank you. Thank you. I don't joke with them at all. As I leave home and go home every day, I pray for them. Just imagine they are not around. Those guys will deal with us. Thank you very much. I respect you. I don't know about others. Please. I will start with the Vice Chancellor's address. Then I will now go back to the orientation. She is very, very busy right now with some unit in the university. Just a while ago, she called and she sent a speech. Okay. That's to tell you that she has you mind. She planned to be here. She prepared its speech for this occasion. So the DR VC office called on me a while ago, handed over a speech. So please hold me responsible if I did not deliver the speech well, but the content belongs to the vice Chancellor. And she is Professor Ibiyemi Ibilola Olatujibelu, MNI, MPUM, address at the orientation through distinguished lecture program of the Center for Peace and Security Studies, Lagos State University. This day, 30 July 2025, at the Aderemi Makonjola Lecture Theatre, main campus. She says, good morning, distinguished guests, esteemed faculty, dedicated staff, and most importantly, our bright, newly admitted students of the Center for Peace and Security Studies. The Vice Chancellor is greeting you all. Thank you. It is with immense pleasure and a profound sense of honor that I stand before you today as the Vice Chancellor of Lagos State University, LASU, to welcome you all to this pivotal orientation program for the 24th, 25th academic session, as well as the inaugural edition of the Distinguished Lecture Series organized by our esteemed Center for Peace and Security Studies. Thank you for what you are doing, for the center. I attended one a while ago when we had to talk about the Iran and the Israeli war. That was a very nice experience. So when I saw this invitation for another occasion, the best I can do is just to continue to congratulate you. You are doing well. You are doing well. This man is one of the coordinators I work with, the best of them all. Very proactive and committed to duty. Spend his personal fund to ensure that the center progress on point. Thank you, Father, for what you are doing for us. We are watching. We are what? We are working. After this stage, something else is in the pipeline. We are watching. Yes. We are particularly delighted to own such an array of experts, policymakers, and stakeholders who have devoted their lives to understanding and addressing complex security issues. Your presence here today signifies a shared commitment to confronting some of the most pressing challenges facing our nation. Chief among them, the persistent issue of insecurity in the Middle Belt. Lagos State University, though it's a center for peace and security studies, is committed to fostering an environment where critical thinking, robust research, and practical solutions can thrive. You, our new students, are now an integral part of this vital mission. The theme of today's lecture, strategies for tackling security in the Middle Belt and insiders perspective, is not merely academic, it is a call to action, a deep dive into the complexities of a region grappling with multifaceted security threats, including communal clashes, farmer-elder conflicts, banditry, and kidnapping. Your academic journey here will equip you with the theoretical framework and practical insight necessary to contribute meaningfully to peace-building efforts. The Middle Belt of Nigeria, a region marked by its rich ethnic and religious diversity, has unfortunately become a flashpoint for various forms of violence, resulting in tragic loss of lives, displacement, and the disruption of livelihoods. Understanding the historical, socioeconomic, and political roots of these conflicts is crucial to formulating sustainable solutions. I am very confident that our distinguished speaker, Lieutenant General Lamidi Adeosun, an accomplished officer who has served his country with honor and decision, is eminently equipped to unpack these complex issues and propose actionable solutions. This orientation and distinguished lecture offer you a unique opportunity to engage with experts who possess first-hand experience in peace building and conflict resolution. I encourage you to participate actively, ask thought-provoking questions, and begin to cultivate the professional networks that will serve you well in your future careers as peace practitioners and security analysts. Remember, the pursuit of peace is not a passive endeavor. It demands courage, empathy, and a deep understanding of the human condition. Your role in shaping a more secure and peaceful Nigeria begins today. Once again, welcome to Lagos State University. We eagerly anticipate your impactful contributions. We are LASU, we are great. Professor Ibiyemi Ibilola Olatujibolu, MNI, MPN, Vice Chancellor, Lagos State University. So that was my Vice Chancellor's speech. You can see that she planned to be here. But because of starting the university right now, you just have to attend some more pressing issues. This speech was prepared by her, and I've just delivered on her behalf. I hope I've done justice to that. I think I tried. Yeah, thank you. So, back to the Dean of Postgraduate School. I've completed my job as a representative of the Vice Chancellor. Students for 24-25, raise up your hand. Where are you? Wave. Let me see you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You have not made any wrong choice. Welcome to Lagos University. Okay, your decision is on course. You have come to the right place, the most preferred university. So when they gave us that number, that over 75 subscribe to undergraduate, I went to go and check the number that's over for postgraduate. The highest ever, I have over 4,000 students, and they are still buying form till tomorrow. That is the new LASU. Everybody wants to be in LASU. Everybody wants to be what? In Lagos. And because of that, please, sir, as security personnel, it is time to focus on LASU. Everybody has decided to stay in Lagos. The population is increasing on daily basis. So, and I'm sure we are likely to have some security challenges. So our personnel will address us on how to deal with the issue. So as student of Lagos State University, your first contact was applying for the form. Your department made the recommendation, and that's why you are here. You have downloaded your admission letters. What next? You are expected to pay what you call precondition fees. Your acceptance letter, the medical acceptance fee, medical fee, LACACA, the PG ID card, okay, and the development and levy. Total about 200 what for the seats. We call it what? Pre-condition fees. After paying that, okay, we enable you to do your clearing process. You upload your credentials. Your credentials, including your O level. Okay, once that has been done, once you are cleared, your matriculation number will drop. If you attended LASU before, if not the first are coming to LASU, don't expect any new matriculation number. You cannot have two matriculation number in a university. Please take note. Once you have been LASU before, you have a matric number. Don't look for another one. Okay, but erroneously, the way the search has been programmed, it's a prompt. Okay, it may drop. Don't use it. Use your old matriculation number. But we are human. We are bound to make what? Errors. In case you have used your new matriculation number, instead of using what? The old matriculation number, approach our PG school, we shall always correct it for you. I have just introduced a fee of 5,000 naira for correcting errors, because I know you must make the error. So the more errors you make, the more money for us. Okay? So please, whatever action will be corrected. Okay, don't go. What action will be corrected? So once you have matric number, the next thing is your school fees. As a strategic point, okay, of action, nobody has paid school fees. I know you are eager to pay. When his time is right, we'll let you know your fees. Okay, but the information I'm getting from management, there is no plan to increase school fees. Please, I've been hearing that story that we are planning to increase fees. We are not increasing what? The school fees. Okay, we want to conclude the LACA process for 23-24 session. We have some challenges in that session, and that was why we organized about 3 weeks ago a workshop to clear the backlog. Once that is done, we shall introduce LACA process for 24-25. Whatever challenge you have with respect to uploading, please see your coordinator, or at most get to us at the postgraduate school. If you don't know who to talk to, look at me personally. Just walk to that premises. My door is open. It's not locked. 24 hours. Okay, just climb the step. You will see me. You don't need to fill any form. Okay. If you see me outside, just tap on me. We'll discuss, and the problem will be solved. There is no breakage, no protocol to see me. I'm available. Okay. Right. But if we wish to formalize it, see your coordinator. If they're not attending to your well, just walk to that building. As for the dean's office, don't tell them you have any problem. You want to see the dean. There's a routine. You walk around them and you see me. I attend to you outside. There is no formality in attending to you. That is straight, please. If you have challenges in no level, let me give an example. You have 5 credits and there's deficiency in either your maths or what or your English. Please, in Lagos State University, we recognize your BSc for master's degree application. We recognize your master's for PhD. Our business is not your own level when you are coming for a master's degree. Please, whatever problem you have with respect to deficiency O level, if a Nigerian university has offered you a degree without your deficiency, it is not LASU that will spoil your dream. Please. Once you have a degree in a Nigerian university, my business is the next qualification, masters. So I have the efficiency in no level in mathematics. Doing our software, you'll be disqualified. Please come to the business school. I will tell you what to do. We'll rectify it, and you will be cleared. Please, you'll be cleared. Okay? You are all matured. You are all managers. If you're a failure in life, you won't get to this stage in life. So you are not coming to LASU to come and fail. LASU will have to your success story. So be rest assured. We are there for you. Now, once that is done, the next thing is get the right courses, compulsory and elective for your department. You will register for your courses. Please, this is very, very important. If you register for your courses, your lecturers, after appraiser, they'll be able to upload your courses. If you don't register on time and then we close the portal, even though you have a score, you will not be able to see it in your profile. So for us to assist you, take you over hand, register your courses before the portal is closed, because you have to close the portal to harness it and let it make it available to the resource person so that they can upload your courses. But as I said, we are human. Somebody may be deployed, you may have one problem or the other, something could have gone wrong, whatever it is. Approach us at the Polytechnic School. Once you pay the right fee for correction, the right fee for the problem you have, we shall always attend to you, but don't run away with our money. Okay? Please. We are here to assist you to navigate our processes and ensure you get your degree on schedule. Our processes have been digitalized, including lectures and examinations. Wherever you are in the world, you can take your examination. Okay, just imagine your military personnel, especially your center, peace and studies. At the point of examination, you may be redeployed from Lagos. Wherever you are, you can take your examination. Please, all you need is a written request that I will not be available during that examination. I want to have an examination virtually. Anywhere in the world, we shall give you your examination. That is the new last. Please. We are not just starting. We have been doing it. We have done it for over 200 students at a time. Not to talk of pocket of it that will be coming now. It's not story. We do it with ease. We have a virtual room at the Bulgarian school, padded room for that service. All you need is pay the right fee. Once it is approved, you have the examination. Okay? And your coordinator is aware that apart from the physical lectures we are having, I expect the center to be engaging virtual lectures. It should be online. I'm busy. There's no I can come on Saturday for the lectures. That lecture must be available in a platform for them to have access to. So the attendance at the center should be both physical and then what? And virtual. Should not stop you from what? From learning. Take notes. Okay? That is the last one. And that's why we parade ourselves as the best, most digitalized state university in Nigeria. We are not saying it. This is by practice. That is who we are. Please, let us know your problems and the solution will be made available. For 24-25 session, okay, my plan is to get approval of Senate tomorrow for the calendar year. Follow the calendar year for this year is July 1. Whatever you have done, I know you are very proactive. It's supposed you have started lecture 2-3 months ago. But as far as the postgraduate school calendar is concerned, July 1 marks first semester 24-25. So we are to run it up to around January or February about before I introduce the next session. Please work within that calendar and ensure that they complete the LACACA processes on time. Their material know how. So when we say, when the gong sounds, they start paying what? Their school fees. We want the money to come up at the same time because the management is started using for something germane for the staff of Lagos State University. On that note, I welcome you to Lagos State University and I say you're going to have a nice experience, enjoy our conversation and make sure whatever it is, stay cool and make sure you're what? You're happy. Welcome to LASU.
Thank you, Dean, for that combining two caps, talking on behalf of the Vice Chancellor at the same time doing his own thing. Please, can you give him a round of applause? Thank you so much, sir. But out of all he said, something very remarkable that I took away from me is that education made easy in LASU. You can do it physical, you can do it online. So, but what matters most is for you to do what is right. Come here, learn, unlearn, and go back. And at the end of the day, and one thing again, he said that my business, if you do your whatever you have done, your BSc. So if you have any deficiency, come, we are going to work. Please put your hands together for the DMPJ school. I know him very well. He's a man who always says something and we do it. If he's not going to do it, he's not going to tell you here. And that's one thing about him, and that's how really stood him out all over the years. Again, please, let's put our hands together for the DMPJ school. I told you earlier on that virtually, even during the last week, we didn't have any downtime. During the what do you call it, COVID-19, our students learned, classes went on. Some of the students who came to do IT in my office were like, "Sir, we're already in." Some of them that even entered Unilag before their mates here. But we didn't have any downtime. Some of our students even graduated before them. So that one is very, very key for LASU. Yes, we are LASU. Yes, last year is not about academics alone, and you can see our students from theater arts, our faculty of arts. So at this point in time, we are going to be having a very short interlude. We don't want you to be bored. We just talk and talk and talk, and that's why we bring all our students. Guys, are you ready? Please put your hands together for our students from theater arts, and they are going to be performing for the next couple of minutes, like 10 minutes. Let's have you. You are ready? Do I bring the microphone for you? To you? Okay, now. We are LASU. Thank you.
Ìyá mi kọ́ mi lédè mò ń pèdè. Bàbá mi kọ́ mi láṣà mò ń màṣà. Ìrànwọ́ rèé dàṣà, ìrànwọ́ rèé lùlù. Àṣà máa lù nígbà gbogbo. Ìrànwọ́ rèé dàṣà. Àṣà máa lù nígbà gbogbo. Àjẹyọ̀ àwọn. Àwọn ọmọ Olúmọ, àwọn ọmọ Olúmọ, àwọn ẹgbẹ́ òyàyà, àwọn ọmọ Olúmọ nílàdé. Lórí òkè fún pẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀, ibẹ̀ la gbé ní wọ́n sí o, ibẹ̀ la gbé dàgbà gbàgbà o, ilẹ̀ òmìnira. Máyọ̀ 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 lórí Olúmọ, máyọ̀ 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 lórí Olúmọ. Bàbá aláṣẹ ní bẹ̀rẹ̀, bàbá aláṣẹ ní bẹ̀rẹ̀, òkè adé rọ̀lẹ́ ní gbàngbà. Bàbá aláṣẹ ní bẹ̀rẹ̀, òkè adé rọ̀lẹ́ ní gbàngbà. Bàbá aláṣẹ ní bẹ̀rẹ̀. Pálapàla ìwà pàlà, pálapàla bó ṣe jókòó mo orí kan bọ̀ yé. Bó ṣe jókòó mo orí kan bọ̀ yé. Bó ṣe jókòó mo orí kan bọ̀ yé. Ẹbẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́ lẹ́kẹ̀ jẹ́ wẹ̀lẹ́. Ẹbẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́ lẹ́kẹ̀ jẹ́ ìjókòó náà ṣèjọ́ dúró jọ́. Ìjókòó náà ṣèjọ́ dúró jọ́. Ìjókòó náà ṣèjọ́ dúró jọ́. Pálapàla ìwà pàlà, pálapàla bó ṣe jókòó mo orí kan bọ̀ yé. Bó ṣe jókòó mo orí kan bọ̀ yé. Bó ṣe jókòó mo orí kan bọ̀ yé. Ẹbẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́ lẹ́kẹ̀ jẹ́ wẹ̀lẹ́. Ẹbẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́ lẹ́kẹ̀ jẹ́ ìjókòó náà ṣèjọ́ dúró jọ́. Ìjókòó náà ṣèjọ́ dúró jọ́. Ìjókòó náà ṣèjọ́ dúró jọ́. Lámpálẹ̀ ṣe níbẹ̀rẹ̀, lámpálẹ̀ ṣe níbẹ̀rẹ̀, òbí adé lè wọ̀ ní gbàngbà. Ẹ̀wọ̀n ní adé lè wọ̀ ní gbàngbà. Ẹ̀wọ̀n ní adé lè wọ̀ ní gbàngbà. Ẹbẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́ lẹ́kẹ̀ jẹ́ wẹ̀lẹ́. Ẹbẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́ lẹ́kẹ̀ jẹ́ ìjókòó náà ṣèjọ́ dúró jọ́. Ìjókòó náà ṣèjọ́ dúró jọ́. Ìjókòó náà ṣèjọ́ dúró jọ́. Pálapàla ìwà pàlà, pálapàla mo ṣe jókòó mo orí kan bọ̀ yé. Mo ṣe jókòó mo orí kan bọ̀ yé. Mo ṣe jókòó mo orí kan bọ̀ yé. Ẹbẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́ lẹ́kẹ̀ jẹ́ wẹ̀lẹ́. Ẹbẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́ lẹ́kẹ̀ jẹ́ ìjókòó náà ṣèjọ́ dúró jọ́. 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 Ẹbẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́ lẹ́kẹ̀ jẹ́ wẹ̀lẹ́. Ẹbẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́ lẹ́kẹ̀ jẹ́ ìjókòó náà ṣèjọ́ dúró jọ́. Ìjókòó náà ṣèjọ́ dúró jọ́. Ẹbẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́ lẹ́kẹ̀ jẹ́ ìjókòó náà ṣèjọ́ dúró jọ́. Ìjókòó náà ṣèjọ́ dúró jọ́. Ìjókòó náà ṣèjọ́ dúró jọ́.
Oh, what an electrifying performance by. Please, can you put your hands together for these young guys? We are last through. I was trying to do my own performance by carrying this thing, but at the end of the day, my back didn't allow me to carry it. Well, what did they just say right now? I know a lot of us, but that was very electrifying and massive as well. What did he say? I don't know about that one. Please translate in English. Please, can you put your hands together for our world-class students? Sir, our guest speaker, sir, and our guests. There's a program we always have, they call it performance workshop. Honestly, when you come, me, I just take it as a timer for myself. You will see what these young lads are doing. And if you have a lot of them engaged, I guess this insecurity, issue of this insecurity will be solved. Just was it yesterday? I saw Bonner Boy playing in the UK for the Lioness of the Lioness, and that was electrifying as well. Bonner Boy on the world stage. I mean, they could have called Chris Brown and some other guys, but at this point in time, Nigerian music, Nigerian culture is being exposed. There was a lecturer who came, one professor in America. That was about 4 years ago. And Nigerian songs are everywhere. Nigerian movies are everywhere. I didn't. What does that tell anybody? And please, these young people, some of them 200 level, 200 level, and they came here just 10 minutes, and we are all forgetting our sorrows. Let's put our hands together for Lagos State University as well. I like culture. I like tradition. I'm a prince from Oyo town. I've never forgotten my root. One day I'll go back home. I've seen it all in Lagos, and probably I'll become the next Kábíyèsí of Oyo. And mo máa gbẹ́sẹ̀ láwọn obìnrin. Is that not okay? Let me try, sir. You know, Henry. I'm like, I mean, that is the position of Opa now. When you are Opa Palori, thank you, God bless you, Opa. Kábíyèsí. All right, just on the lighter notes. Okay, we are moving forward. I think we are at the stage whereby we are here. Please, before I go on, for Faculty of Art, the next inaugural lecturer just walked in here quietly. It's a brother. He's a strong person that we have done a lot of things together. He's director of PGS, Lagos University Ekpe campus. Please put your hands together for Professor Olawale Lawal, our next inaugural lecturer. Which one is Inokon? I don't know. Which one is Inokon? See, this one is not 2027. No. I don't know about that. Please put your hands together for Professor Olawale Lawal. Some other people who have seen, because of time, will not be able to take your names at this hour. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why we are here, that is the lecture itself. And even some of the things that we're going to be talking to us in the next, that should be 26th August at the Primary Auditorium, Jakpa, insecurity, migration, Jakpa down. I mean, all those terminologies. And I would like to invite all our guests too, sir, to come around to come and listen to what, because I know the energy is there. Please put that together for our next inaugural lecturer. Okay, on that note, let's go back to the reason why we are here. I would like to call on, Dr. Ajibola Shekoni to read the citation lecturer. Wait now. Wait. So why is it that anytime it's Oyibo that you are always clapping? You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. The Vice Chancellor of the great university, our distinguished lecturer, all protocol duly observed. This is the time that we have been waiting for, and it's a privilege and honor to read the citation of the Lieutenant General Lamidi Oyebayo Adeosun, retired, CFR, DSS, DCMH, CMH, PSC, FDC, FCMH, MSc. Lieutenant General Lamidi Oyebayo Adeosun, retired, was born in Asamu, Olaoluwa local government area, Osun State, Nigeria, on the 22nd August 1963. He attended Asauddin Primary School before attending the Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna, in 1983. As a member of the 34th Regular Course, he was commissioned into the Nigerian Army Corps in Infantry on the 28th June 1986. He is a fellow of the National Defense College, Nigeria. He holds an MSc in Strategic Studies from the University of Ibadan and a certificate in counterterrorism from McGill University, McGill, Florida, United States of America. He is currently a PhD student in Leadership and Strategic Studies at the Postgraduate School of National Defense Academy, Kaduna. During his 35 years of military service, he had the privilege of attending courses home and abroad with a sterling record. He also held command, staff, and instructional appointments at tactical, operational, and strategic levels of command, as well as administration and instruction in training institutions, units, and formation home and abroad. This foray covered the local and international arena, such as Komong in Liberia and Sierra Leone, United Nations mission in Congo, DRC. He served as the coordinator of the Joint Operations Center, MONUC, United Nations mission in the Democratic Region of Congo, Goma, where he assisted in resolving the tensions between the 8th and the 10th military territory of DRC. He later acted as the head office of the United Nations office in Goma, DRC, an appointment solely reserved for UN permanent civilian staff to the commendation of the monarch headquarters. If you are clapping, please clap very well. As General Officer commanding 7 Division in the northeast of Nigeria and commander of the multinational joint task force across neighboring borders, respectively, he supervised the reclaiming of the vast swaths of territories from Boko Haram and other insurgents operating in the northeast. In 2015, a period when Boko Haram terrorists almost overrun the entire Borno state and other northern eastern states, his tour of duty led to the recapture of all the 3 army barracks, which includes Baga, Mungono, and Bama, from Boko Haram, and 26 key towns, including the 2 critical Boko Haram Caliphate headquarters of Bama and Goza, and the border towns of Kalabage, Banki, and Gamburu, Umbala, as well as the rescue of tens of thousands of adopted people. It was to his credit that the delayed national election in 2015 were successfully held in Borno State, in particular, and some other contiguous parts of the Adamawa Yobe State, respectively. These significant achievements and extraordinary feats, courage, exemplary leadership, loyalty, uncommon commitments, and valor, among others, led to his elevation to the rank of Lieutenant General by the Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces, the late President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, on July 2019. This earned him the appellation of the Star Boy. He is the Star Boy of the Nigerian Army by the Nigerian press. He is a pride of the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Armed Forces, and Nigeria and humanity at large. He is one of the most trained and experienced senior infantry officer in the history of the Nigerian Army. A highly devoted senior officer with over 20 professional awards, medals, and stars, among which are from COAS Commendation Award, foreign operation medals from ECOMOG, UNAMIS, and MUNOC medals, Field Command Medal of Honor, Corps Medal of Honor, Service Star. He is also a National Honor Awardee of the Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Additionally, Lieutenant General Deoshun, retired, is noted for his honesty, humility, forthrightness, and bravery. He also believes in the general well-being of his colleagues and subordinates as a catalyst for operational success. This quality endowed him troops all through his service. He rose to the position of the Chief of Policy and Plans, Army, before his voluntary retirement from service after 35 years of meritorious service in 2021. On retirement, he remained a resource person for the armed forces on the military and security matters. He served in the National Implementation Committee on the reform of the Ministry of Defense and Armed Forces of Nigeria in late 2021. A member of the Review Committee of the National Counter-Terrorism and Violent Extremism Strategy at the National Counter-Terrorism Center, Office of the National Security Advisor, Abuja. Finally, he is married, and the marriage is blessed with children. His hobbies include playing golf, reading widely, and watching documentary films. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Lieutenant General Lamidi Oyebayo Adeosun, CFR, GSS, GCMH, CMH, PSC, FDC, FCMH, MSc.
Let's keep it coming, please. Thank you so much. Yes, that was done by Dr. Shekoni. That was just, I mean, what else do you want to take in from this? Please, let's put our hands together for guest speaker. I see. And we have come to the moment we have all been waiting for. And I'd like to ask us, with all sense of respect, to please listen with rapt attention so that we can take a lot away from the experience of our guest lecturer. On that note, if we are ready, sir, Lieutenant General Adeosun, sir, with all sense of respect, sir, if you are ready, let's have your lecture at this point. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our guest lecturer by appreciation. We can stand up. Let's stand up. This is a man who has given it all to Nigeria, to Nigerian army. And we are pleased to have him at Lagos State University for this very lecture series. And welcome, sir. We can keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. The title is Strategies for Tackling Insecurity in the Middle Belt, an Insider Perspective. You're welcome, sir.
Please sit down. At times, when people read my CV or citation, I'm lost. I don't even know whether I'm the same person they are talking about. But for me, always, the glory belongs to God. Before I start saying anything, am I permitted to say we are LASU? We are LASU. Thank you very much. When I was contacted to come for this lecture, the person that invited me was in doubt whether I would be able to make it. But I said, for me, whatever will make me to interact with people is all I live for now. The greatest part of my life, I've lived it in the military. So now that I'm lucky, I'm among the lucky ones who managed to come back. So it is time to give back to the society. So I'm happy to be here, and I want to thank the man here and all his management team that deem it fit that my small and humble self should be the one to handle the first lecture of this series of lectures that's just been organized. The Vice Chancellor of Lagos State University, Professor Ibilola Ibiyemi, MNI, what some people refer to as Mafia Nigeria Incorporated. Ably represented here this morning by Professor Olateju Ibrahim, the Dean of Faculty, the Chief Host, Professor Adewumi Falode. In fact, that's the person I was referring to, the person that invited me. Thank you for inviting me. The former Vice Chancellor of Lagos State University and all our professors and erudite scholars seated here. Permit me, I won't be able to mention your name one after the other, but you are most respected and highly welcome. The General Officer commanding 81 Division of Nigerian Army here in Lagos, Major General Farouk Meji Woyawa, ably represented here by the Director of Education, 81 Division, Colonel Ekubo, the Commandant, Nigerian Army School of Logistics and Management, Major General Etuk, ably represented here this morning by Brigadier General Igoche, other officers serving and retired of the armed forces and security agencies that are here. Our royal father, Kabiesio, Oba John Afolabi, Justice of Peace. You are welcome, sir. The great students of LASU, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I have already been duly introduced. So what I need to do now is to go straight into the business of the day. But before I do that, I want to tell you that I came with some disappointment. And what is the disappointment? If you want this gentleman standing here to start telling you how army operations are planned in the middle belt of Nigeria, or how a shot is being fired and now somebody is being killed or rescued, I think you are going to meet disappointment. But if it is for me to address the issue as it is, for us to all understand, I think all of us will be happy. So having said that, the technical people, I hope, will be at the same pace. I was thinking I'll be able to operate the slide and it will be showing directly on this thing, but I don't know how that will be possible because I didn't plan to read script. I plan to talk to the, sorry. Ah, this is not opening again. IT. It's like your flash. It's like, eh? But could see. It's from here. I sent it to your flash. Okay. All right. So I'm a soldier. I'm not a technician or an IT expert, but I will manage. Well, the topic I'm to address this morning is strategies for tackling insecurity in the middle belt. And when we're talking of middle belt, we're referring to the middle belt of Nigeria. Let me start with the introduction straight away. In today's globalized world that is defined by increasing geopolitical instability, the phenomenon of insecurity has taken a global significance, posing threats to not only to state sovereignty, but also to regional integration, socio-economic development, impacting negatively on human security. From mass displacement caused by conflict and instability in the Middle East to the proliferation of extremist ideologies in Western societies. We know what is going on between Russia and Ukraine, and even the tensions going on in the South China Sea. Coming back nearer, when we look at sub-Saharan Africa, we see the convergence of ethno-religious tensions, weak institutional frameworks, transnational criminal networks, and climate-induced resource competition created by fertile ground, which has created fertile ground for persistent insecurity. When we come down, we also see that African Union is also not relenting as a body, as the Union identifies the Sahel and Central Africa as the epicenters of growing instability. And despite that, we are all aware that there's no sub-region, even in the entire world today, that remains immune against insecurity. We narrow it down to West Africa in particular. we have a volatile cocktail of terrorism, insurgency, banditry, communal violence, state fragility, and so on. We now come to Nigeria, which is a major economic and political power in West Africa. We know we are standing at a very critical crossroads in terms of security. With our population that is being estimated to be between 220 to 250 million, and with our diverse ethnic and religious group that is over 250 ethnic groups in Nigeria. We can now look at every part of Nigeria, what our challenges in terms of insecurity is. Starting with the Northeast, you can see terrorism, insurgency, suicide bombing, all that, including thuggery, just name it. Come down to South-South, militancy, pipeline vandalism, robbery, cultism, restructuring, agitation, and land dispute, and all that. It's not too different from the Southeast. Armed robbery, cultism, land dispute, secessionism, restructuring, and all that, human trafficking, kidnapping, even rape. All these are security issues. Come to where we are, Southwest. Kidnapping happens, ritual killings, armed robbery, sea robbery, smuggling, car snatching or carjacking, pipeline vandalism, terrorism, political thuggery, and so on. The same thing when you go to North Central. Cattle rustling, farmers, others problem, kidnapping, banditry, political thuggery, smuggling, illegal mining, and so on. Now to Northwest. The story is also not different. So the area we are concerned with today is the middle belt of Nigeria. And I would want to look at the political demarcation. I would like us to look at the geographical demarcation, which covers Niger, Kwara, FCT, Kogi, Nasarawa, Benue, Taraba, Plateau, and Adamawa. Generally, it is believed the northern part is dominated or populated mostly by Muslims, while the south is mostly populated by Christians. That's what people say. But most of us here know, like I do, that demography has started changing over time. In places where you don't even have Christians before, there are Christians there now. In places where you don't have Muslims are. So that demography of saying it's only Muslims that are here, it's only Christians that I think Nigeria has passed that. But when we look at three areas, the epicenter within the middle belt, we talk of Benue, we talk of Plateau, we talk of part of Kaduna, which is southern Kaduna, some parts of Kwara, some parts of Kogi, and so on. All these areas are marked by ethnic, religious, and resource-based tensions, primarily driven by violent clashes between sedentary farming communities and nomadic herders. That is what everybody believes, and that is what everybody seems to know and be orchestrating. But as we get to the crux of the matter, we'll see. This situation has also been exacerbated by climate change, population growth, weak governance, and proliferation of small arms. Religious intolerance and ethnic identities often overlap within the middle belt of Nigeria. We also know that failure of state institutions to mediate effectively or prosecute perpetrators has led to cycles of violence and deep mistrust among communities. In this presentation, I've tried to explore strategies for addressing the chronic insecurity in Nigeria's middle belt, focusing on indigenous responses, military-civilian relations, community-based security architecture, and policy frameworks. This presentation, therefore, aims to trace the root causes of this protracted crisis and uncover practical and context-sensitive solutions to the problem. I also argue in this presentation that without a recalibration of Nigeria's national security strategy to reflect regional peculiarities, the broader West African security framework risk collapse under the weight of localized violence. If Nigeria scatter today, the entire West Africa cannot stand. That is the truth. Now, for us to get into the strategy that we can suggest and implement, we must know what is the root cause. What are these? What is causing this wahala? If we don't know this, we'll just be building something on nothing. So let me dwell a little on the root cause of insecurity in Nigeria's middle belt. Well, I've shown us the geographical demarcation before. Now, I group what I felt or what I know after research, after having worked in the general area and after relating with people. I group them into 5. One is ethno-religious tension and identity politics. The second one is violent contestation over land and natural resources. Then political elite manipulation, criminality, and weak governance. Let's quickly look at ethno-religious tension and identity politics within the Middle Belt. The region serves as the cultural and religious intersection between the so-called predominantly Muslim North and Christian South. Two interlinked phenomena, ethno-religious tensions and identity politics, which not only act as root causes but also continue to serve as dynamic drivers of violence, instability, and fragmentation within the region. One of the most ethnically diverse regions in Nigeria is the Middle Belt. Out of this, the assumed 250 ethnic nationalities in Nigeria, within the Middle Belt alone, there are over 150 ethnic groups with distinct languages, cultures, and belief systems. This in itself is a potpourri of confusion. Then let's look at during the colonial era. The British employed an indirect rule system that privileged the Hausa Fulani Muslim aristocracy system of government in the north. This is a known fact. Then relegating many middle belt minorities to subordinate positions. Those of us that have traveled far and wide within Nigeria, we know so many crises that have happened. The jailing of General Samani Lekworth after the riot in Sango Katab is born out of this. Because all the first-class emirs in southern Kaduna were Hausa Fulani. And those people were there before the Usman Danfodio jihad came. This is a marked reality that nobody seemed to want to address. And that's one of the major drivers of the challenge historically that we have in that place. So even after independence till today, these colonial fault lines were neither adequately addressed nor healed. So the inborn tension is still there. In the works of Omar and Wiko, which I read, it proceeds that one of the most insidious manifestations of identity politics in the Middle Belt is the legal and political bifurcation between indigenes and settlers. And whether we like it or not, silently, it is manifesting everywhere. Today, it is Yorubas and Igbo here. Even in Ghana, it is Ghana and Nigeria. I hope I'm saying something. So it is practical. Nigerian constitution itself does not clearly define these terms, thus allowing states and local governments to institutionalize discriminatory practices in favor of the indigenes. Even with this, if we do it, we put it in the constitution, if it does not respect our cultural values in all those key areas, we will only be using constitution to solve one problem and using the same constitution to create another problem. Settlers frequently in that part of the country, frequently Hausa Fulani Muslims, who have lived in these areas for generations, are systematically excluded from political representation, employment opportunity, and access to land. In fact, for political representation and employment opportunities, the previous government in Kaduna is a typical example. If we want to be honest with ourselves, under the immediate past governor of Kaduna State, the southern Kaduna was overtly marginalized. Overtly. Not covertly, was overtly marginalized. In the present day awareness, where what you do in the corners of your room is known anywhere, everywhere in the world, you cannot pretend. You cannot pretend, no matter the color, no matter the grammar, no matter the color of the language or the beauty of language that you use to color it. So, we also look at the dichotomy that creates a hierarchy of citizenship that fuels grievance and alienation. Let's look at just not local government area of Plateau State. There's recurrent violent clashes between the Birom, Abize, and Anaguta indigenes and the Hausa Fulani settlers. These are rooted in the contestations over identity, political power, and spatial control. It's just a picture. If we say we are Christian, we say we are Muslim. In the Christendom, you even have more denominations than you can count. The same thing in Islam. So back to Jos. In 2001, the Jos crisis and the 2004 Yelwasa Dam massacre, as well as the crisis in southern Kaduna, were catalyzed by inflammatory sermons and hate speech that framed the conflict in absolutist religious groups. If we cast our mind back to 2022 and 2023, during the political campaign, when the issue of Muslim ticket was raging, many of us who watch the clergymen from that part of the country on the pulpit know that we have a problem in this country. But the way we play our politics, we know the truth. At times, we deliberately play down on the problem or shy away completely from it. So religious institutions double as political platforms, reinforcing exclusive group identities and further entrenching divisions. Absence of interfaith dialogue and reconciliation mechanism in many parts of the Middle Belt sustains mutual suspicion and precludes trust building. And when suspicion and lack of trust is what dominates the people, definitely there will continue to be tension. Now, let's look at violent contestation over land and natural resources. These are different people. The thief in Benue, the Birom in Plateau, the Egons in Nasarawa, these people are traditionally farmers. And they can do anything over land to retain their land or to capture more land for them to be able to continue to ply their trade. Then we have our brothers, the nomadic and semi-nomadic Fulanis, who also are bent on grazing their cattle, not caring whose ox is God. In fact, I have a clip just as I was sitting there here this morning where a Fulani man went into a corn farm that are of this size, fresh, acres, and was cutting it down and feeding the cows with it. The owner of the farm was crying. I have the clip. Somebody just sent it to me. So when we see the kind of thing within ourselves, I think we have problem. Part of it is also the Land Use Act of 1978. Post-independence land policies, especially the Land Use Act of 1978, centralized land ownership under state governors, weakening traditional land tenure system and creating a legal vacuum that allows for elite capture and ambiguous claims over land. Apology to Kabiesi. Most of our Kabiesis today, they are living on land. The village I came from, nobody was selling land. For more than 5 decades, nobody was selling land. If you come to the village and you need land, the Bale, it's now an Oba. They will take you, they will give you the land you need. You will pay what they call royalty. It's a kole to the Oba. If the village or the government wants to use the land, they are not going to beg you that you should leave the land. They will just tell you the village need to use the land. If you still want, they can relocate you to another place. But today, what most of our obas do, and especially in those remote areas, they sell all the land to if tomorrow they want to locate anything into that village, whoever wants to do it will have to buy that land from a third, fourth, or fifth party. It's most unfortunate. It is a keg of gunpowder that they just covered, sitting by the side of the fire. That one in itself will bear its own fruit in the nearest future. So this ambiguity has facilitated violent confrontations between the indigenes and the settlers. It's also manifesting right here in Lagos. So Benue State, where the majority of the population consists of ethnic Tiv farmers, Idoma farmers, Igede farmers, land tenure system in Benue has favored communal ownership with farmland passed down generations. The farm that my own father was farming till he died, I don't have access to it. If I want to have access to it now, I must pay. If I don't pay, I can't have access. And if I pay, it means I own the land, irrespective of what. This is what we have degenerated to. It's part of what is the major problem in the middle belt. So land is not just an economic asset, it is tied to identity, survival, and cultural heritage. If I'm still alive, I will not be happy to see the portion of land where my own parents were buried to be sold to a non-indigene. It means they can exhume their corpses or even just cover the grave and do whatever they like on top. That's to even to bring it down to the least expectation. So predominantly Fulani herdsmen have traditionally moved through the region in search of grazing pastures and water. Fulani herders have migrated southwards into Benue in greater numbers and frequency, leading to increased competition over farmland and water bodies. Shrinking of the Lake Chad also and the advancement of Sahara Desert have increased the pressure in the Middle Belt's relatively fertile and rain-fed land. I can say with utmost certainty about the receding Lake Chad Basin. I think what the Lake Chad and its basin now is like maybe 1/4 or 2/5 of what it used to be. So that's also a problem. That's a result of climate change. So these changes have driven more herders into central Nigeria, increasing the frequency of conflict with sedentary communities. Then when we look at mineral resources, there are so many of them also located within the Middle Belt: helium, lithium, tin, lead, zinc, to mention just a few. What this is causing in terms of insecurity is beyond what one can comprehend. And it's happening because we all are contributing into it illegal mining and backing those that are mining illegally. In Plateau State, for instance, where mining has been of ages, abandoned mining pits and environmental degradation have disrupted local livelihoods. I remember 1986 when we were about passing out of academy, we went for an exercise there. June, and they warned us, don't drink water from any source, whether in a pit or flowing. Few of us that didn't take that instruction, we returned to Kaduna with serious ailment for taking such water. That's the kind of devastation that illegal exploitation that does not take care of rejuvenating the area where they have mined. That's the kind of devastation that it caused, even to human lives. Then let's look at political elite manipulation. Political elites are those who with significant influence over state power, resources, and institutions, and they have frequently exploited identity fault lines, manipulated grievances, weaponized youth groups to achieve personal or factional political ends, as well as political expediency, thereby deepening instability across the region. This is almost true of everywhere. When you talk of politics or when you talk of elites, elite complementarity. Well, where we are concerned with mostly for this presentation is the Middle Belt, and it's known for its ethnic plurality and religious diversity. It presents fertile ground for such manipulation. A case of us versus them. During electoral cycles, political actors in Plateau, Nasarawa, Southern Kaduna, and Benue State have framed conflict through a religious lens of Christians versus Muslims or indigenes versus settlers to consolidate votes or justify violent reprisals. This has created a binary perception of us versus them or them versus us. In Plateau State, the 2001 just crisis, which claimed hundreds of lives, was triggered by the appointment of a local government chairman, a decision interpreted along ethnic and religious lines. So political elites from rival groups mobilized their constituents by invoking historical grievances and religious affiliation. I think they say the rest is history. We are all aware of the outcome. Then political elites have also transformed resource-based and land disputes into political capital. In Benue and Nasarawa states, land ownership and grazing rules have been politically contested, with elite actors supporting or arming militias from their ethnic base under the guise of self-defense or community protection. In contrast, in Nasarawa and parts of southern Kaduna, Fulani other groups have received covert political support from elites who see them as a demographic or religious ally. These are facts that we should be bringing out for everybody to know so that we can all come up with solutions. In many Middle Belt states, political elites have sponsored local militias and youth gangs, especially during election periods, only to lose control over these groups post-elections. Armed groups are often metamorphosed into criminal gangs or ethno-political militias that operate as instruments of coercion, extortion, and violence. Notorious Ombase Corps group in Nasarawa State that massacre scores of policemen and DSS operatives under the regime of President Goodluck Jonathan, specifically in 2013, was a creation of this political elite manipulation. The Ombase Group is an Egon ethnic militia organization based in Nasarawa Egon local government of Nasarawa State, with its leader, Baba Alakio, a traditionalist and chief priest, being the cycle to many political elites in the state. So the traditionalists with that group and their own the political group he belonged to, they are the ones that visited mayhem on people in that situation. Then let's look at Sarasuka gang phenomenon in parts of Kaduna and Plateau, where local thugs initially used for political intimidation later became major threats to public safety. They engage in armed robbery, intercommunal violence, and even assassinations, often under the protection of their political godfathers. This one is not too far away. Tawase Akwaza, popularly known as Ghana in Benue State. His emergence was from a local vigilante to a notorious warlord, and it reflects the deep entanglement between political elites, ethnic militias, and organized violence. Initially seen as a local defender against Fulani herders and criminal elements, gained popularity among his thief kinsmen in Katsina, Ukum, and Logo local government areas of Benue State. Around 2013 to 2015, it transitioned from being a vigilante leader and motor park tax collector to a feared militia commander and warlord, implicated in dozens of assassinations, armed robberies, and extortion rackets. Ghana's rise was his relationship with political elites in Benue State. He wasn't doing it all by himself. In 2015 general election, Ghana was reportedly co-opted by certain politicians as a political enforcer, mobilizing thugs and intimidating opponents. This gave him they gave him political protection and access to state resources while allowing him to maintain a network of armed loyalists. According to Ayub, I quote, third world state insecurity is where state actors themselves are complicit in the erosion of internal security by using violence as a tool of political consolidation, unquote. Still on Tewasi, rather than demobilize Ghana after the election, by 2016 to 2019, Ghana has transformed into one of Nigeria's most wanted criminals, with over 100 murder cases attributed to his gang. His warlord-style control over the Sankera axis, that's Katsina, Ukum, and Logo local government area, paralyzed local economies, displaced thousands, and undermined state authority. Inability of the political elites to decisively act against him earlier or earlier on reflected their complicity and hesitancy. May I say that even the governor of Benue State, as at then, was unhappy when eventually Ghana was killed. By 2020, the same elite class that once protected Ghana became divided. His relationship with some of them, or some of his political godfathers, went sour, leading to his eventual betrayal and death in a controversial military operation in September 2022. To the civilians, the death is controversial. To those of us in the military, it wasn't controversial. Pure and simple. Ghana's trajectory reflects a broader pattern in the Middle Belt where elite manipulation of youth, militias, and identity politics continues to fuel insecurity. Rather than investing in structural conflict resolution and economic empowerment, the role of political elites in manipulating identity, grievances, and institutions is both a root cause and an enduring driver of insecurity in Nigeria's Middle Belt. Weaponizing identity, sponsoring violence, politicizing communal disputes, and shielding perpetrators, elites perpetuate a cycle of fear, retaliation, and fragmentation. Now to criminality. I may not even need to say much. With all this I've said, our political elites, indirectly or directly, are creating criminals that are fomenting trouble and cutting us to sizes in our various places. The root causes and sustaining drivers of this insecurity is criminality. And criminality occupies a central pervasive role in this. This act that contravene the laws of a state, ranging from theft, kidnapping, and cattle rustling to arms trafficking, banditry, and organized violence. All these are condemned by the law. But even when they are caught, if they have political backing, the person you arrested and locked today, next tomorrow is the one that will come and wake you in your room. So this is it. So these acts transcend mere law breaking. They are deeply entangled with socioeconomic deprivation, political manipulation, weak state institutions, and the commercialization of violence in the Middle Belt. I want to borrow from Akinola to another scholar who said criminality thrives in environments where state presence is weak or exploitative and where poverty and youth employment are rampant. So most rampant forms of criminality in the region is armed banditry, especially in border communities. Even this, the no part of Nigeria is spared with that, whether in the east, in the west, in the north, and what have you. So Niger, Nasarawa, and southern part of Kaduna also go through this criminal enterprise. So armed groups engage in highway robbery, village raids, and ransom kidnapping. Between 2018 and 2022, the Abuja-Kaduna Highway, which passes through part of the Middle Belt, became notorious for daily ambushes and kidnappings, leading to fear among promoters and significant disruptions in trade and mobility. It did not even only, it's not only on the road. In the history of Nigeria, that same 2022 or thereabout, that's when train was attacked. And for more than a year, the people that were abducted were being released in piecemeal. Nigeria is a serious country. So all forms of criminality have evolved into lucrative industry with ransom payments financing the acquisition of more sophisticated arms and entrenching the criminal networks. So kidnapping for ransom industry has flourished in the Middle Belt also, especially in Kogi, Niger, and parts of Benue. So they often target schools, markets, and highways. Though it's in Yobe State, the story of Dauchi schoolgirls kidnapped is an example. In Niger and Kaduna, provide practical illustration of how this crime disrupts education, traumatizes communities, and delegitimizes the state. We know many schools were raided in Kaduna a few years back, even up to the school, one Islamic school along Kaduna Abuja Road, picking innocent children. So now, criminal theft of livestock has contributed significantly to the conflict between pastoralists and farming communities. In Plateau and Benue State, cattle rustling often escalate into retaliatory attacks, leading to communal actions that are ethnically and religiously framed. Syndicates steal hundreds of cattle, sell them in illicit markets, and use the proceeds to fund arms and more violence. This is happening. So criminality in the Middle Belt is sustained by the availability of small and light weapons. Weapons empower non-state actors and make local conflicts more deadly. From research, over 350 million illicit firearms circulate in West African region alone, with a large concentration in Nigeria's conflict-prone zones. So criminality is both a root cause and a persistent driver of insecurity in Nigeria's Middle Belt. Then weak governance. Middle Belt is historically marked by ethnic diversity, religious pluralism, and socio-political complexity. So characteristics are often celebrated. These characteristics are often celebrated among the multiple factors fueling this conflict. So weak governance stands out as both a root cause and a catalyst for escalating insecurity. Weak governance manifests through corruption, institutional incapacity, lack of political will, poor law enforcement, and inadequate policy responses. Yoruba elders will say, "Ìlú tí ò sófin, ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ò sí." But in Nigeria, there is òfin, but kò sẹ́ṣẹ̀. In Nigeria, there is law. What I mean, what I said in Yoruba was that Yoruba would say, where there is no law, there is no offense. But in Nigeria, there is law. When people break the law, what comes out of it? This is part of the problem. When we were small, if you steal meat from your mother's pot and you are caught, you dare not do it again because you are going to be punished in situ, right there. They will not only tell you it is not right, they will punish you. That beats the nonsense out of your head. But in Nigeria, we have the laws, but we don't obey, and there are no consequences. This is one of the major drivers. So each of which contributes significantly to the instability plaguing Nigeria. We governor reverts to the inability of state institutions to effectively formulate and implement policies, maintain rule of law, deliver public services, and ensure public safety. In states like Plateau and Benue, ethno-religious violence has been recurrent for decades. So it's not just now. Let me cite an example. 1986, I was in a battalion in Port Harcourt, and the RSM of that battalion is a thief man. RSM, those are the senior soldiers. Those are the generals, like four-star generals along the rank and file. But what happened? That was the time Nigerian Army changed from using G3 weapon to Fabrique Nationale from France. All those ones that were in store for units to backload to the division, this RSM stole 5 out of those weapons. It was when they were taking those things down that it was discovered. My battalion, we were on parade ground for 7 days. Nobody goes to the house. Nobody had the opportunity to go back to his house. No. It was in the process, it was discovered. Eventually, when he went for court martial before he was jailed 5 years, he confessed that those weapons have been sent to his place to do the thief Jukun war. I'm citing a practical example. The RSM eventually was jailed for 5 years. All his 35 years of service went to naught. So this problem, in the Middle West, Middle East, is also, in the Middle Belt, is also historical. And mostly it has been on land because of agriculture, because of land acquisition and value that is attached to the land. So inability of the government to mediate conflicts fairly, prosecute perpetrators, and implement inclusive policies has led to the widespread disillusionment and retaliatory violence. So back to 2001 Jos crisis and the recurring attacks in southern Kaduna, all this are failure of the state to intervene decisively and equitably. Land Use Act, we governor manifest in the government's inability to reform or implement clear land use policies. And that is what has led to all this, let me call it traditional sale of village lands now, indiscriminately. Sincerely, it's a problem. So, recurring other farmer clashes in Benue and Nasarawa states exemplify this failure, where the absence of favorable and fair enforceable grazing laws has led to violent confrontation. Benue State took a bold decision to enact anti-grazing law. As at last month or thereabout, we still have over 200 people that were killed in Benue because of this problem. But people will say it's Fulani and this. But when you go deep into it, you see that it goes beyond Fulani herders and farmers something. Well, bribery, nepotism, all the ills of weak governance. They are the selected employment and deployment and all those stuff. It happens everywhere. Let's look at during the 2018 massacre in Benue State. Reports surface of security forces being alerted in advance but failing to intervene. This has always been a story. But with the level that I reached in the armed forces, If you are given a command, you have an area of responsibility. Everything that happens in that area, you are to be held responsible. But you have to work with others. If you have police there, you have immigration there, you have custom, you have the Air Force, you have the Navy. I'm giving a typical example. You must work in coordination with all those people to address all these issues. It is lack of understanding on the part of many people that will say the governor is just what do you people call them? They are chief security of the state. They don't have full control over the government forces and all what have you. It is a lie. You do security meeting every month. If there's a small problem, you call a security meeting. You have all the security people. You two people take decision there and they implement. So who is in charge? What you are not in charge is you don't buy ammunition, you don't buy weapons. Federal government does that, isn't it? So it's all part of political elite manipulation. So in the vacuum left by a weak state, non-state actors such as vigilante groups, ethnic militias, and criminal gangs have emerged as alternative sources of security and justice. Some were initially formed to protect local communities. Many have evolved into violent groups engaged in criminality, extortion, and political manipulation. Whether we like it or not, the Amatekun set up within the Southwest, it may have a little nuisance value, but it's working very, very hard to make sure insecurity in Southwest is the lowest in Nigeria. Because they are generally recognized by the various governments within the Southwest, and they are encouraged to also work in collaboration with the federal police. And that's what we require. I know question and answer is coming. You people ask me, well, what do I feel about state police? When it gets to that, I'll tell you. So, the rise of Tewasi Akwaza, alias Ghana, in Benue State illustrates how weak governance allows warlords to gain power, recruit unemployed youth, and operate parallel structures of authority. It's unfortunate. The same politicians that bought weapons for them to do their bidding, when they get to power, they forget about them. Now, if you have the weapon, you have the ammunition, you will fend for yourself because you are not under anybody's control and you have already been equipped. So you are a non-state actor. You have power that the state actors have, isn't it? So this is part of the problem. In most places where we have deep-rooted criminality, this is part of the problem. In fact, it is a root cause of the problem. Yes, having understood what the challenges have been and why, let's now profile some strategies that we can exploit and see how they can address all these challenges. I've already shown what the geographical demarcation of what we refer to as Middle Belt in Nigeria is. And we have already mentioned the characteristics: diverse ethnic and religious communities, vast agricultural resources, critical national infrastructure, Nigeria's agricultural heartland. In fact, Benue State is commonly referred to as the food basket of the nation. Unfortunately, insecurity has reduced that. So, this one too, I want to address them under 5 subheadings. Strengthening community-based security architecture is number 1. The second one is institutionalization of good governance, while the third is combating political elite manipulation and youth militarization, while the fourth is land reform and resource-based conflict resolution. And finally, regulation and modernization of livestock farming. I'll take them one by one, starting with strengthening community-based security architecture. My disappointment is coming. Oh, have you people not seen disappointment? Yeah, I've not mentioned soldier or police or anybody. Eh? That's where the disappointment is. And why? Whatever those people do, they're only addressing the symptom. They are not addressing the real issue. So this is the key. This is the cocoa that we must address to make sure, even if that one racist is there, the government forces will have short time and short little resources to deal with the minor ones and go back to their barrack. But if we don't address this one, we are just wasting our time. So community-based security architecture decentralized is a form of decentralized framework of security provisioning that actively involves local communities in identifying, preventing, and responding to threats. WAC will represent one of the major institutions for this here. In my village, when we're growing up, if anybody enters my village, whichever route he follows, the first person who is an indigene of that place will lead him straight to Bale house. That is where he will tell Bale what he has come to do there. And from that day, they will monitor him until he finishes what he wants to do and he goes away. Obviously, that does not happen again. Anybody can enter anywhere now. Nobody cares. So security is a collective good and that local populations are not mere recipients of state protection, but active stakeholders in fostering peace and order. This model recognized traditional authority structures, vigilante groups, community development associations, women and youth organizations, faith-based institutions, hunters union, other local actors as co-producers of security. You can see all these people I listed. Have you seen a soldier there? Have you seen a police? If these people don't work together to address this thing from the base, we will only be looking at the top. In Yoruba, amukun ẹrù ẹwọ olókèlè ẹwọ ẹwò sàlẹ̀. That is somebody with knock knee, put a basket on his or her head, and the basket bent. And Mama, this your basket bent, the thing go through away. I say, my son, now on top you look, we no look for down. This is where the thing spoil from. So middle belt, spanning states that I've mentioned, with this approach, if it's adopted there, with long-standing communal system of self-policing, conflict resolution, and sovereign rooted in indigenous knowledge system, it will address most of the problem. I've said it, Middle Belt is multi-ethnic and we have over 150 ethnic groups, each with distinct language and cultural practices and traditional institutions. If the people put themselves together and they want the security of their own people, of themselves, they can do it. So community-based security arrangement leverages the legitimacy and proximity of traditional rulers and local institutions to promote peace building. Many rural communities in the Middle Belt are isolated and poorly served by police and military infrastructure. Criminals exploit these security vacuums. There's nowhere in the world where you have enough policemen to be in everybody's house or soldier to be in every local government, even in every state. There's no place where that happens. But the way things are now, everybody, if there are any little thing, make them look for soldier. And some of you, if your child want to join soldier, you say, no, don't go. Boko Haram go kill you. But I'm here today. Boko Haram did not kill me. So this is it. I'm saying this practically. Some people whose children are in the army, they will still be going back to find ways where they will be. Let me post my son to Lagos. Let me post him to Ibadan, not to the north, not to Niger Delta where they will kill him. You join the army, so you are not going to fight war. What have you gone to do there?
So, many years of impunity, human rights abuses, and lack of accountability have eroded citizens' trust in the police and the military. I don't blame them. The policemen, the military men, they are all, I doubt whether there's any one of us here that does not have one close relation or distant relation in any of the security services in the country. Is it a lie? Yeah, the society produced them. And when you give them the bribe, they bring the bribe to come and build a house in your village. They carry the bribe to come and give you when they come for holiday. So all of us are guilty. What we're accusing those that are collecting the bribe of, we are all guilty of it. If you don't give, they won't collect. If all of us make up our mind that we won't give bribe, how many people are they going to kill? How many people are they going to put in prison because you don't give bribe? Because everything is clear now. What I'm doing here now, I won't be surprised if somebody is watching it in Liberia now. You understand? If they don't collect this bribe hidden. I drive vehicle, I'll be on queue, they will be collecting koro in my presence like this. If you don't give, let them park you, you park there. And I want to see that soldier or that policeman, even as a civilian that I am now, that will collect one dime from me. Whether they buy fuel for me or buy vehicle for me, he will tell me. So these are complications and realities that we must live with. So community-based approach grounded in dialogue, representation, and inclusivity will help rebuild this trust and promote cooperative security governance. So members within our area are also best placed to dictate unusual movements, brewing tensions, and suspicious behaviors. So this structure, which when properly coordinated with state security agencies, can provide early warning intelligence, enhance surveillance, and build trust between citizens and law enforcement. All these things that I've said, what is stopping it? This one is a Christian. This one is a Muslim. This one is Steve. This one is Idoma. That is it. In the same family, some family, you have some Christians, you have some Muslims. They don't even see eye to eye. Why? Because of religion. Meanwhile, this religion, who is sure? Who don't go up there, come back, say, now my own best too. But now my own, nine good pass. You no go enter kingdom of God. Who has gone there to come back? All the faith that we are following, human beings are like us, are the people that espouse them. Isn't it? And that their time. You see everything they were doing then that is happening now. That time they were riding horses to fight war. Why don't you go and carry horse and chariot and carry dagger now and say you are fighting war? Things change. We must change when it is necessary. So institutionalization of governance, good governance. All the hills or all the quality, all the characteristic of good governance is there. We all know. Transparent government, accountability, rule of law, responsiveness, equity, effectiveness, participation. Even in our houses, some people don't even apply equity. They consider some of their children special than others. That's where it starts from. So institutionalization, on the other hand, is a process of embedding these governance principles into the formal structures, processes, and cultures of public institutions to ensure sustainability, predictability, and legitimacy. If we institutionalize good governance, half of our security problem will have been solved. So institutionalization of good governance plays a pivotal role in ensuring security by creating systems, structures, and norms that reduce grievances, address root causes of conflict, and strengthen state legitimacy. This is according to Shah et al. Therefore, a fair and effective justice system ensures that citizens seek redress through lawful means rather than resorting to violence or self-help. For instance, in states where land disputes or political grievances are resolved impartially by the courts, the likelihood of violent conflict is significantly reduced. Recently, in Osun State, Ilobu, where our former chief of army staff come from, they were dagger drawn, killing themselves. Those land have been there before they were born. Their ancestors lived there. Their own great grandparents, their own parents, all of them live there. Why now? I'm just citing an example. I'm just talking from the heart. Eh? Why now? Greed. No self-satisfaction. Your son today, who is a first year student, a first year undergraduate in university, want to ride the same car that the dean of faculty is riding. The journey the dean of faculty has taken to get to that level of riding that rickety car, you don't know. But you just woke up from your mother's womb, you say you must be there now. Our values, we must resuscitate them at home. So building robust and independent judicial institution is essential in curbing impunity. Middle Belt, where land and communal disputes often escalate into violence, institutionalizing alternative dispute resolution mechanism through traditional and modern legal system can ensure swift, fair justice. But in Nigeria, when a case enters the court, it will take Armageddon to make sure that case is resolved in good time. And they say justice delayed is justice denied. When that happens, people resort to self-help. And what happens? Insecurity, killing, maiming, suspicion, mistrust. So community peace courts in Plateau State have shown promise in reducing localized violence. At a point, there was an establishment of a community court. I need to try and resolve some of these things locally. They were making progress until those who feel they were not satisfied they still continue with the status quo. So participatory governance fosters a sense of ownership and collective responsibility for peace and security. And let's take Benue, for example. I think let me say let me just look at from 1999. I don't think a particular one of the 2 or 3 major ethnic group in Benue has been the one that has been taking the governorship position of Benue State. The remaining people, what do you think will be their feelings? Eh? So us versus them. So in the middle, that includes so many ethnic minorities, youth, and women in policy making, reduces the feelings of exclusion and marginalization that often trigger rebellion and violent agitation. Institutionalizing good governance in the Middle Belt is not merely a bureaucratic endeavor, it is a security imperative. So by embedding principles of justice, accountability, inclusion, and equity in the structures of governance, the region can address the root causes of insecurity and build lasting peace. Now, our big people, combating political elite manipulation and youth militarization. Manipulation of the youth by the elite it's a deliberate power game. Deliberate power game for them to always have their way. But if all minds are liberated, who is going to do Oraisa? As I'm standing here, if my son goes to any of this road or market and do Oraisa, from that day, it's no more my child. He or she is no more my child. How do you say you are my son and you are carrying cutlass to go and do talk for somebody? You have been educated enough, but some of these are elite. They take deliberate effort to kill the mind of the youth and channel them towards violence. This is part of our problem. Many of us who have our children in school, even for them to stay in school becomes a problem because they are seeing some of their colleagues that are misbehaving. So it takes grace of God and your own insistence in the house to make sure your child does not follow them. So how do we address this? So addressing the issue of political elite manipulation is not only strategic, but indispensable in any sustainable approach to peace building and security in the region. Some of them have even come up from nowhere to say education is a scam. My dear student, is education a scam? Please don't listen to them. They want to use your head. If they don't go to school or they go to school to learn the wrong thing, you tell them education is not a scam. When you are educated, you have power of reasoning. You have power of comparison. You have power of analysis so that you can take informed decisions. So institutions such as the Independent National Electoral Commission, political parties and anti-corruption agencies must be empowered to monitor electoral and to monitor properly. And electoral laws should criminalize the use of armed youth groups during campaigns. I say the laws are there. It's to implement. There's nowhere in the Constitution that says political parties must recruit thugs. Is it there? And there's law against violence. There's law against criminality. And why are we not implementing it? So electoral laws should criminalize all this. And civil society organizations and the media must play watchdog roles by exposing the complicity of political elites in fueling violence. My dear pressmen, I don't touch you too. I don't touch you too. You people shape the mind of the people. If you want us to go the wrong direction, that is where your pen and your pictures and your voices, that's where they will direct us. But if you want us to go to the right direction, you have the capacity. That's why they call you the fourth estate of the realm. So channel us through the right direction, the press. So a core driver of youth militarization is economic disenfranchisement. People go to school, they don't have employment. But I think some of these things are being stylishly and structurally being addressed. Our colonial legacy of education was not really giving us the capacity required for us to be self-sustained. We are trained to be clerks, messengers, to assist those that can think. Critical thinking just came into our lexicon how many years ago? In our citadel of institutions. A few years ago, they weren't taking us through all those things because they were preparing our mind to continue to subjugate us. But now that nothing is eating, as our children, our relations, as they are studying grammar, let them also discover their passion so that they can blend the passion with the grammar. If you have a degree and there is no white collar job and you love sweeping, go and take up a sweeping job. If 10 people that didn't go to school are doing the same sweeping with you, you will surpass all of them. Because what? You're already educated. You can think. You can criticize. We were claiming we were manufacturing vehicle. Were we really manufacturing vehicle? We were only assembling. They will do all the critical parts there. We'll bring them here. We'll say we are man. No, we only assemble them. Why? Our engineering does not contain what will challenge our brain to open up and discover. We are to mimic and repeat, cram, regurgitate, and get your certificate. And they made the certificate so important in our life that we were worshiping certificate instead of worshiping knowledge. So Drawing from the disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration DDR models, security apparatus must be depoliticized and made responsive to grassroots intelligence. Special squads should be created to investigate and dismantle youth militias and their elite sponsors. Land reform and resource-based conflict resolution. The Middle Belt states In Middle Belt states, land is not only a source of livelihood, but also a symbol of identity, heritage, and political power. Where every part of Nigeria, particularly here, we're losing it. Are we not? But we are selling our prime land to people that are not even here. And tomorrow we'll say it's our fatherland. Who makes it your fatherland when you have sold your father's portion? Eh? So, growing pressures of desertification, population explosion, urban expansion, and climate change have heightened competition for arable land and water. Several scholarly studies and security reports affirm that a significant proportion of violent conflicts in the Middle Belt are resource-based. So, absence of clearly defined land ownership systems, ineffective governance, and traditional dispute resolution frameworks, these resource struggles. Oh, don't worry, don't worry. These resource struggles have been easily hijacked by political and ethnic entrepreneurs, thereby fueling insecurity. I've talked about Land Use Act. They need to review the Land Use Act. If there's any land again in the communities that we have not sold. The land reform can also enable the creation of dedicated agricultural zones, grazing reserves, and buffer zones, preventing friction between the users. So clear demarcation and regulatory oversight, conflict between others and farmers will be significantly reduced with clear demarcation and sincere regulatory oversight. Land reform and resource-based conflict resolution represent strategic non-kinetic approaches to addressing the deep-seated drivers of insecurity in Nigeria's Middle Belt. Holistic implementation anchored in justice, inclusivity, and local ownership is essential for rebuilding trust and transforming the Middle Belt into a zone of stability and prosperity. Regulation and modernization of livestock. Traditional pastoralist system of transhuman cattle grazing, where nomadic herders move from one location to another in search of pasture, is what we call pastoralism or whatever it is. So this leads to encroachment on farmlands, resulting in the destruction of crops and retaliation by farmers. So conflicts are framed along identity lines between Fulani herders and indigenous farming communities. So weak regulation of the livestock sector exacerbates these tensions and creates a fertile ground for insecurity, according to Ibrahim and Okoli with Attili in their works of 2014 and 2017. Thus, modernizing and regulating livestock farming is not merely an agricultural policy imperative, it is a security strategy. One of the most effective modern strategies is the promotion of ranching system, where livestock are reared in designated and well-managed locations and is full of many benefits. Reduction in herders and farmers clashes as ranching confines livestock within a particular area, eliminating the need for seasonal migration for grazing that often leads to conflict with crop farmers. It also promotes better feeding for the cattle, good breeding, health management for the animals, and leading to higher productivity and less strain on communal resources. It's easier to monitor. It reduces the incidence of cattle rustling, infiltration by armed groups, or arms trafficking. So adoption of sedentary livestock system in regions like Kenya and Botswana has helped to reduce rural insecurity and promoted agricultural commercialization. Akiyemi Aolani refers. So There's need for legal framework regulating livestock, which will include livestock identification and traceability to help track herds and reduce cattle theft. Then there should be licensing and registration of ranches to ensure compliance with environmental and zoning laws. Conflict resolution mechanism embedded in livestock policies is, to mediate disputes between others and farmers is also necessary. So modernizing livestock farming also entails building the capacity of others through training in animal husbandry, pasture development, disease control, and veterinary services. Integrating technology and extension services into livestock management can lead to all the advantages I've mentioned. Yeah, I'm finishing now. So regulating and modernizing livestock offers an avenue to address marginalization of pastoralist communities, providing access to education, veterinary health care, and financial services fosters inclusion. Then there's a platform, it's a platform that fosters interethnic dialogue, especially in areas where ranches are to be established. This can promote long-term peace and cohesion. Program like the National Livestock Transformation Plan is a good one. I hope we'll be able to implement them. So modernization without inclusion will likely reinforce old grievances and perpetuate conflict. This is where education and carrying everybody along is very important. So regulation and modernization of livestock farming presents strategic multi-dimensional approach to addressing the security challenges of Nigeria's Middle Belt. So transitioning from an unregulated migratory system to a modern, regulated, and inclusive livestock economy, the region can mitigate conflict, foster development, and build resilient rural communities. And this must be anchored on sound policy, legal backing, community participation, and sustained investment in infrastructure and human capital. So Middle Belt is closely tied to the resource competition and weak governance. Livestock reform is not only an agricultural necessity, it is a vital instrument of peace. This is the moment we have been waiting for. Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude. The crisis of insecurity in Nigeria's Middle Belt stands as a sobering indictment of the failures of leadership, governance, and state responsiveness in a region that should otherwise serve as a fulcrum of national unity and agricultural prosperity. Ultimately, the security of the Middle Belt is inextricably linked to the security of Nigeria. If the region continues to slide into protracted violence and militarized fragmentation, the country risks entrenching a culture of impunity and ethnic polarization that will unravel its federal structure. Consequently, or conversely, if the Middle Belt is stabilized through deliberate, inclusive, and strategic intervention, it can become a model for reconciliation, economic revitalization, and national cohesion. As such, securing the Middle Belt is not just a regional imperative, but a national emergency that demands urgent and courageous, as well as visionary action. I want to anchor here and thank you all very sincerely for your rapt attention. I have some references. They are not showing the references.
All right, I think we are out there now. Okay, it's okay now. Well, I wanted to say without the microphone, the show will continue. We must be very, very appreciative of what the speaker just talked about. That was very compelling, impactful, insightful, and thought-provoking as well. Please, let's put our hands together for our guest speaker. Naturally, when I anchor event, I always want to time the lecturer, but as the more he talked, the more we got into that message. And I always tell people that the only way for you when you come to an event of this nature is to listen with rapt attention. And I can tell you that I think a lot of things are going on in our mind right now that, okay, this thing really have, because, like we said, an insider's view or comment or what he has seen. Not that some of those things that we saw in the movies. No, this one is not fiction. This is a true life experience. Please let's put our hands together for our guest speaker. God bless you so much, sir. Honestly, I wasn't into it. I didn't even just leave my seat. Because of time, we have two more items, the vote of time, sorry. The questions, I've been told that because we have spent a lot of time today, we just take two questions. Prof. Prof, we can see, you can see the hands. Okay, the guy said he's up to attack. He's a military officer. Now, please really have to get out of guest speaker again. What I like to say, please, because of time, we don't want to stress him any further. What we do is just go, don't give us background, just go straight to the question. And that will just, be good for all of us. Okay, let's speak. I saw you, Dr. Siddiq, one. We got two. Then 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's take this 6 for now, please. Please. And we even have somebody online who has sent a question right here. Maybe I'll just start that with that. Somebody just sent a message online that what strategies has the government or the military put in place to ensure that the lands taken by the Fulani men in the forest should be taken back, so that, because we all know that Nigeria, right, the south, the northeast, very, very massive and big, and not are being used for anything than the issues that we are talking about. Dr. Siddiq, please, your microphone. Hello. Hello, somebody help me out so that, like I told you, this is not a movie, this is true life story.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, I think you systematically dodge the involvement of military in ISOPs. And I was thinking that maybe you give us opportunity to understand the role played by the military as a 2001, the Zankin Biam massacre. That's number one. Number two is the issue of media, the role they are playing in the insecurity. Presently, we are in a technologically advanced world, and social media is playing a key role. Even professionals, non-professionals can give you a news, and before you verify, you already know that it's fake news. That is second. The third one,
Thank you so much.
I'm coming, please. The
Please.
third one
Okay.
is the issue of weak judiciary. Because when people are caught, at the end of the day, we don't know what is going to happen to them. The following day, the court will pronounce them guilty. And at the end of the day, we don't know. The next day, you see him on the road. So if there is this, there's need for overhauling.
Thank you so much.
Let me put it that way.
Thank you so
We
much.
can get it well.
Thank you so much. Number 2, quickly, just please, let's just one question because of time. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to ask 2 in 1 question, not just one. Thank you. The Yoruba proverb says, "Yini yini kade shemi." Thank you very much, sir. We cannot appreciate you less. The lecture is axiomatic. There is no clause. There is no ambiguity. So clear. You understand? It's practical. So let's be honest with ourselves. I think even a market woman, if she's here, she will have go home with something. Sir, with all these lectures, with the way you have dissected it, with the levels of analysis, with the recommendations, I have one question, sir. Now we then say Nigeria is a failed state. That's question number one. You have made very beautiful recommendation, practical recommendation. But who is to be hold responsible? Who are to handle those recommendations? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Well taken. Number three, yeah. Hello. Number three, yeah. Sorry. Well taken questions, and I know the inaugural. I said inaugural. The lecturer is. It's even like an inaugural lecture.
My name is Obozua Oshoka. I'm an ex-student of this school. My question goes like this. If we all agree that the late Sani Abacha quote, which says that if insecurity lasts in a country or in a system for more than 24 hours, the government have a hand in it. Can we all agree that the past and the present government of Nigeria are the sponsor of insecurity in Nigeria? That is my question.
Thank you so much, sir. Number four. Number four.
Thank you so much, Professor Lieutenant General Lamidi Adebayo. Excellent delivery. You have chronicled the challenges, even the root causes. My question is from the cooperative security point of view. I want to find out how can everyone help in early warning, especially getting the evidence of problem that is emanating. Our first speaker have mentioned the advent of social media. How do we make everyone to be supportive in this providing solution? That is, once you see it, report it. Is there a repository place where I can quickly snap and send to a place where somebody will analyze it and make a decision promptly? My name is Dako Obamonire, one of the students of Center for Peace and Security Studies.
Mr.
PhD.
Dapa,
Thank you.
thank you so much, sir. Well, I would like to add, sir, so that it won't be another act of insecurity. When you're asking the question, please face Lieutenant General, because you're always looking at because we are talking about insecurity. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. My question is about the general that was kidnapped sometime. And yesterday, a set of students from University of Nigeria and Nsukka were kidnapped on their way to school. Sir, like an insider perspective, we've all read what happened to the general kidnapping, where funds were raised for him to be released. And I'm of the opinion that if that could happen to a general, so what do you think would be the perspective of the masses? How do we go about this? And you said in your paper here, sir, that it's clearly a criminal enterprise. And it's one of the, I say that Boko Haram business has become the best. How do we navigate this system? And how do we make traveling better for the masses? Thank you, sir.
All right, quickly, somebody is raising a hand here. Then with that, then we come there with that's the end of okay. Professor Salisu, you're welcome. Former
Thank you, sir,
Dean,
for the
Faculty of Arts. Professor Olumoko, you're welcome as well.
sir. Thank you for the wonderful lecture, and it has been very, very insightful. Please, sir, I want to ask: following the colonial anomalies in Nigeria, don't we think that restructuring can also solve some of these problems? Since it is a historical problem, restructuring will also realign some of these issues and then make every other person to fall in line structurally. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Quickly, let's come here. Then that will be the please. Let's
our speaker, thank you very much for this well-delivered lecture. My question is, Middle Belt is a location. We are not in the Middle Belt. We are in the Southwest. I want to, because this lecture is designed for our students to take something home who have not been to Middle Belt or who have not seen, and you have taken us in an excursion to these areas. What is it we are taking home? We in Lagos and Southwest in general. Thank you very much.
Don't worry, Prof.
That's in terms of a localization.
Don't worry. Tomorrow we send you to Middle Belt. So. Hello, come. Hello. The last question from this side.
Thank you very much, sir. My name is Prince Lawrence from the Center for Peace and Security Studies. Um, I hope you just go back to answer the question of the state policing we spoke about. Nobody has asked it yet, just to remind you, because I think that's very necessary as well. But then speaking to climate change, I wanted to find out, since climate change has been one of the factors that have fueled conflicts in these regions we are speaking to today, um, my question will be, what control do we have as Nigerians in climate change issues? What control do we really have of our climate issues?
Okay, I think that should be all the questions for now. Sir, you can sit down and answer all the questions, sir.
Okay. Let me start by saying I am really very, very happy. It means I've decided to agitate our mind very well, and the lecture sang. That is why I have this barrage of questions. Thank you so very much for listening to the lecture and for understanding the lecture. Because if you don't understand the lecture, you won't be able to fire any question. So without wasting time, let me go and start. You will pardon me if I don't mention your name because some names were not mentioned and all that. Starting with the first one, the land taken by the Fulani herdsmen. What is the military doing about it? I think that's the first question. From the somebody sent to you. Okay. The military is conducting military operations into all those places that we are claiming Fulani herdsmen has taken or have taken. But if we go through the lecture, anyway, I mentioned there, yes, Fulani herdsmen are there, but it goes beyond Fulani herdsmen. There are so many other things that I mentioned that are responsible for this. But we are quick to mention, to tag somebody. Femi Falana, son, recently went viral. Yeah. All the kidnappers in Southwest that have been arrested, there has never been a Fulani man amongst them. But everybody is shouting, Fulani men have come to the Southwest to start kidnapping. That's a typical example. Well, like I said, there's no country that has military that can join hands like this and cover everywhere. Within the strength of the military that we have, the boats we have on ground and the equipment available, you really need to get involved or get close to those that are involved to know that a lot is being done. If a lot is not being done, these people are not being contained, we can't sit down here, even in this university, do everything we want to do peacefully and go about our business. It's because the military is there doing the needful. But they say if it is not over, it cannot be over. So it is not yet over. The military will continue to do their own. And that is why all these other non-military actions are necessary. Because if we have to put it in mathematical forms. 20 to 25% of solution is military. 75% is non-military. This paper explained in details. So all hands have to be on deck right from our homes. If they don't have my child to recruit, they don't have your child to recruit, they don't have other person's child to recruit, then where are they going to be getting their recruitment from? So there has to be a change right from home. There has to be a change in our orientation and also some government ministries, departments, and agencies. They are working, but I think they are not doing enough. I don't know whether anybody can come out with 2-3 programs that National Orientation Agency is doing that everybody can talk about as we sit down here. Is there any that you can say, hey, this National Orientations Program that is talking about security in this country, that is talking about change of values, that is talking. So why are they there? I'm just citing that as an example, just like a parastatal or a department employing people just to collect salary. Otherwise, there's no impact, and they are employed for specific purposes. So people should be made aware of some of these things. So strategic communication on the part of government is also not good enough. So that would be my response to that. Military will continue to do their job. Then, my brother, this the first person after the factual question, challenged me that I dodge military action. But I told you as a prelude that I'm going to disappoint you in that lecture. And the disappointment is that, and that's why I left this for the last so that we can talk heart to heart. You understand? Uh-huh. So I didn't dodge the military question. And when you talk of Sakibi and massacre, pressman, thank you very much for what you do. In the way the press want us to believe. I want to tell you, as at that time I was a major in the army, I was at the army headquarters, working in the office of the chief of army staff. I know what transpired. All of you are seated here. If they carry your children to go and work and protect you, and part of you came out, kill those officers and soldiers, bring out their bowels, cut their heads, cut their limbs. If you are the head of state, you will sit down and tell that community continue to do what you are doing. If you have I don't know whether it is the Times or whether it is Newswatch. It was Newswatch. I remember a conference. That Newswatch was the only agenda item where decisions were taken to stop that carnage. If nothing was done, I don't think you will be able to talk of your soldiers anywhere today. Because anywhere the soldier is, those people will mobilize and attack them. So we too, we should also think that those who are science people, action and whatever attract whatever. Like pole attack, unlike pole, unlike pole attract, like pole repel, isn't it? So if you carry pebble and stone me, if I carry rock and stone you back, you should not be annoyed. Eh? If you stone me with pebble and I stone you with rock or iron, you shouldn't be annoyed. You caused it. So we shouldn't be taking laws into, and if you want to take laws into your hand, and it's against the security forces of your country. Abba. Let's call a spade a spade. In other countries that we claim to be mimicking, UK, US, where do they do that to their own military people? Is there any history of that? So if you are cannibals, you should be treated like a cannibal, so that you know that your eye that they bring dirty, this is the dirty, you see it. So if you want it, continue, and you see the same thing. That's what I would say about that. Then, sorry. The next one is about social media. Well, even during the lecture, I alluded to it, that my press people, the direction we want to carry us to, you know how to do it. If you want us to follow a straight path, you know the languages, you know the pictures, you know the voices to use. Isn't it? But if you want to carry us to the opposite direction, you also still do the same thing. So those that are in charge of the press, that's the organized press. The disorganized press is the social media. where falsehood, misinformation, disinformation, everything is belief now. So it takes every individual to choose what he wants to believe, isn't it? It takes you as an individual to choose what you want to believe. And before you believe, please cross-check, like it was mentioned. It's not everything you see there. Here, somebody can pick this paper and see where I put all the lies together. But in social media, any idiot can wake up from the wrong side of his bed and just write anything. It's not researched. It's not proved knowledge. And you, a learned gentleman, you go and pick it and you start acting. It's madness. If any of us seated there, learned gentlemen and our mother said, if you write anything, you acknowledge it. You put your name there. Most of those things on social media are not acknowledged and they are not signed. They are, and anything that's anonymous is animalistic. We call it animal letter. Anonymous letter is animal letter. Eh? It might contain some things, but you cannot use anonymous letter in the law court, can you? No. So social media has come as a menace of its own, but it doesn't mean everything is bad. Where the bad things are, you see some little good ones. So you don't close your eyes for the bad people to go. Otherwise, good people will follow them. You will not know. So you are the one that you should screen and know, and also relate with people, cross-check ideas before you espouse it. Weak judiciary. Do we have learned gentlemen here? Because all of us here, we are just academicians. We are not learned. Where are my learned gentlemen or ladies? Those are the ones that can actually answer this question. Because I was privileged and challenged to be the president of a court martial. That court martial is not supposed to last more than 3 weeks or maximum 1 month to 6 weeks. We were in that court martial for almost 9 months. Why? Because of lawyers bringing non-issues, trial within trial, knowing, seeing facts black and white and making attempt to prove it to be read. It got to a point, I said, well, before law, there was logic. And facts are sacred. If you accuse me that I stole this computer and the computer was found on me, I don't have a receipt for it. The place I stole it, the person I stole it in his presence is there, testifying. Then why are you saying, what cloth did I wear when I stole it? Did I not steal? So why is the cloth I wore, the shoe I wore when I was stealing it, why is it important? They will drag on that one until they deliver a judgment. Eh? So that's why I say it's only the learned gentlemen that can answer that question, because they are the problem. They are the problem. And that is why the justice system just must be reformed. If the justice system is not reformed, we'll be going back and forth. It's not that things are not happening in Nigeria, but unfortunately, we'll take 2 steps forward. Tragically, we'll take 5 steps backward. Somebody will make attempt to repair. As he's repairing, his tenure expires. The next person come, say no. Instead of building on that, he will start a different thing. Abandon project everywhere. And that is how we abandon our progress as a country and as a people. Make no vessel. Now, make I come, I'm here. So, weak judiciary, it will take us to continue to request and complain so that they will continue to hear. They will continue to also be pricked in their conscience that they need to have a change. If we keep quiet, Wallace Yinka said the man died that keeps quiet in the face of tyranny. Isn't it? In The Man Died, the famous book. So we should not keep quiet. We should continue to talk, both on social media, on regular media, and when we have opportunities like this. I'm sure some people are recording. Snippets of what we do here will flip into their ears. Maybe one day we'll see improvement. Then the next one is, can we then state that Nigeria is a failed state? I want to beat my chest that Nigeria is not a failed state. If Nigeria is a failed state, why do you have a president? Why do you have all the ministries working? Why do you work and collect your salary? Why is it that you can move from your house to your workplace? Nobody says where are you going? You can go to the market and replace the tires of your car. It has not gotten to a level that you drive your car on rims. I was in Liberia for 3 years. They were driving vehicles, truck on rims without tire. You're hearing vehicle that's moving, no tire. Nigeria is not a failed state. We should not fail Nigeria. Nigeria is not a failed state. If we are allowing them from outside to say Nigeria is a failed state, all those mushroom NGOs who are paid for their specific jobs are posted by even what we call him now, Donald Trump himself. If they are being used to do specific hatchet job here, and because of the stipends they bring, we are dancing to them and even destroying our countries before them. We're now saying Nigeria is not a failed state. If Nigeria is a failed state, I've been in my village for the past 17 days. I drove from my village to this place yesterday. Nigeria is not a failed state. So we should not join them to do that. What we should join hands to do is to see how we can rescue our country by ourselves, not by all those people pretending that they are helping us, where we are actually doing everything to subjugate us and keep us in a perpetual state of flux so that we cannot realize our potentials. So Nigeria is not a failed state. Then the recommendations. Well, I made those recommendations generic because I don't have power to appoint who should do it. But those recommendations there touch on every facet of the society, right from the home to the traditional and local recognized institutions to individuals to government. I've said it the way it should be said, which is not in want in Nigeria. If we go to your library now, there's hardly any problem that people, learned people, erudite scholars have not provided solutions, but they are rotting away inside our bookshelves. Our researches, how do we maximize them? How do we use them? Do we have a coordinating center where we put our